Alright guys, as you can tell by the title of the video, it is a video of how to replace your fuel filter, specifically on this vehicle, a 1993 Ford Ranger 4.0 automatic 2-wheel drive. How to replace it. So basically, tools you'll need is a 13mm socket, maybe with extension, a ratchet, a 1/4 inch 5/16, can't really get that to focus, but 5/16 with extension, because it's got to clamp it around it. Here's the new fuel filter, part number FF745DL. There's around $10, so much it costs, AutoZone. So let's go ahead and get underneath and I'll show you what we got to do. Okay, so the fuel filter is located on the driver's side, right behind the driver tire, right where the door goes. You'll see when you get underneath here. Here we go. Alright, right here are two 13mm bolts, here and here. That takes this bracket off, and then way up here you've got a 5/16 clamp that holds the fuel filter onto the side of the frame. So let's go ahead and show you what we got to do. Okay, so first off, before I do anything really, taking the fuel filter out, there is fuel pressure in there. There's fuel in those lines. We need to get that out. How you get that out? First off, what you do is you go ahead and fire the vehicle up. Of course, you go to the fuse box. If you've got an amp like I do, take the 2 screws out, remove that. Pull it out. Relay number 2 from the top. There's one in the middle. It says fuel pump relay. You take that out, vehicle will immediately shut off within about 5 seconds or so when it runs out of fuel. After that, turn the vehicle off. We'll get underneath there and we'll take the fuel filter out. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Fire it up. There we go. I want to make sure to get all the fuel out of it before I take those fuel lines off. Alright, so now we've got the fuel out of the lines. Let's go ahead and get that clamp off. Like I said, 5/16 and 2 13mm bolts. Okay, so now you take after you've got all the bolts out and the clamp off, and make sure when you take the clamp out, you got to make sure that you pull the whole clamp out, or it's not going to come out of the bracket that holds the fuel filter. Take all that down. A bunch of dirt and junk's going to come in your eyes, so be prepared for that. And when I take these lines off in just a second, a bunch of a little bit of fuel is going to still come out of those lines. So what you want to do is, if that happens, get some rags, or you can get a bucket to catch some of the gas that's going to come out of the line. Also, you want to do this on a flat surface. I'm on a flat surface, but I've got the front end jacked up on jack stands, so all the fuel that's in the tank is still going to go this way. I've seen it before where somebody's replaced a fuel filter and the car's sitting on an incline, and all the fuel comes out of this line, out of the tank, by just current, and it's just come all the way out of the line. So the best bet is just do it on a flat surface, and you should have no problem. So the next thing you're probably wondering is how to get these clips out. Piece of cake. you can either take a flathead screwdriver, which I'm going to do, and some needle nose pliers, and that is to go behind this and pop this out just like you're seeing it do right now. It's kind of hard to do with the camera in the one hand. You pop that out. They're little tabs, clamps. Your new fuel filter should come with new clamps. If they don't, I would suggest getting new ones. I wouldn't reuse the old ones because you don't know how good they are, how strong they are. Because if these are not good and strong, it won't hold this line onto the fuel filter, and you'll probably have a gas leak. But anyways, let me go ahead and get those off, and we'll go after that. Alright, I went ahead and got some gloves. This is why I was telling you need to get a bucket, because of the fact of how much gas is coming out of there. I didn't realize it was going to be that much out of the fuel line from the engine down. But it's a good thing I got that bucket. So let's go ahead and let that drain, and I'll get the other line off. Just in case you're wondering, this is what the clip looks like. They look about like that. You can take your flathead screwdriver and push up on this part right here where my thumb's at, and it'll come right out. I actually did it with my fingers. That's how wore out it was. So anyways, let's go ahead and let that drain, and get the other line off, put the new filter in. Okay, so I went ahead and I cleaned the clamp and everything else. That's just how I am, very OCD about stuff being clean. A lot of that's just stuff I put on there. Looks like just debris that's stuck on there, or just the paint that's eat up by heat and stuff like that, salt and weather. Anyways, the clamp is cleaned. Everything's good. Even says Ford on it right there. Get my camera to focus. There you go. Alright, so you can take some rags. I've got a bunch of these. These are t-shirts cut up into rags. Got a whole bag of them. I use the hell out of them. So anyways, get back underneath, clean the lines up a little bit. Just make sure there's no dirt and stuff like that in them. Just like that. Just kind of clean them up a little bit. Because you want to make sure that they lock pretty good in that clamp. There's another name for it that goes inside of this hose. Has a good solid lock to it, because you don't want this coming off going down the road and then you end up leaking gas. The other one is right here. There she is. So we'll clean those up, and I'll go ahead and install the filter, and we'll get back to you. Alright, let's go ahead and unwrap the new one. Now, one thing, you're probably wondering, what does that arrow mean? That one has an arrow and this one has an arrow. Alright, so basically what that means is the direction of the fuel going to the engine. Do not put this in backwards. If you put it in backwards, you'll have issues. It probably won't even run at all. Anyway, so what you do is, the arrow pointing up means going this way. So what you do is, when you put it in the vehicle, you put it in sitting this way up underneath. I'll show you. Take these little rubber caps off. They're just dummy caps. Take the new clips off. Make sure you don't break them. Get underneath here. Alright, arrow pointing up, points to the engine. So it'll go in just like this. Like I said, do not put it in backwards. Make sure the arrow is pointing directly to the engine. Alright, let's go ahead and put those clips in the lines. They'll have to go in first, or you can put them in last. It really doesn't matter. Sometimes they can be a little stubborn, especially with one hand. Alright, one's in. comes in. Exactly like that. So when you put the filter in, which I'm fixing to do, it clicks right in. See how I just put that almost in backwards? Because I had to look. Alright, push it in, should click. Let me set the camera down. Alright, so now we got that one in. Basically what I had to do was, I had a hard time of getting in there with the clip in. Take the clip back out, make sure that it's all the way on the filter, and then snap it on. And then pull on a little bit and it should be on there good enough. So let's go ahead and get the other side in, put the clamp and everything back in, and then we'll crank it back up and go from there. Alright guys, it's kind of been about 30 minutes or so fussing and fighting with this thing, trying to get these threads, nuts back into the frame. Kind of found out there was a stupid wiring in the way that was causing it. That's what happens when you're in a rush to get things done. Anyways, the clamps and the hoses are on, everything's in, it's not going nowhere. All the back hoses are on. I don't think it's going anywhere. Let's go ahead and put that relay back in it and fire it up and see what happens. Make sure there's no gas leaks. Alright, relay's in. Let's go ahead and primer. I did write down the mileage on it. I have 01542. That's how many miles I got. I'm gonna have to prime it a couple times. Check for gas leaks real quick before we fire it up. Don't need that spraying on the exhaust. I don't see anything. The other side looks good. Alright, I do want to say right before I fire it up that I do have a Flowmaster muffler, just so you know, if you wants to know that. Seems to be doing good. Alright, she sounds like she's running like a top. That's really good. Alright, so basically that's how you do it. That's how you change your fuel filter in your vehicle. Basically they're kind of sort of the same on each vehicle, but each vehicle varies. Might be different locations. Some of them are in the tank, some of them are right above the tank in certain vehicles. I'm sure that would be a bitch to get to. But anyways, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up if this helped you out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the bottom. I'll try my best to get to them. I make how-to videos every other week or whenever I can. If you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.